welcome, Anthony.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to look into the sunlight. Nah, because I want you guys to be able to see my eyes. That's kind of important. The only thing I ask today is that you engage, because I believe we don't learn passively. We're taught that we learn passively. You know, we sit, we listen, we write, and we're supposed to learn like that. But generally after a test or something, you know, you wipe that information, get ready for the next. But we remember through emotion. We remember, you know, you won't remember probably what you did on 3rd of March this year if it was your birthday. But if I asked you where were you for the Rugby World Cup final, or what was happening for, you know, your best friend's wedding, where was that? Or if there's a significant event, you're going to remember exactly where that was. It's because there's emotion attached to it, right? So what I like helping people do is become really free in their life and really free in social environments as well. I was on recently I went through a trip through Southeast Asia. I went to Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia. I stopped in China as well. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. How many of you have been on an international flight before? Right? So hop on the airplane and, you know, you walk through, you got your bag, walk through, get your seat, look where your seat is. But most people, you know, you're sitting there and most people, they hop on, they got their bag, looking, a lot of people around. Oh, excuse me, sorry, excuse me. Excuse me. I'm over here. Sorry. Right? That's what most people like. So I like helping people become free and express themselves because this world is basically for us. So if we can't engage in here, you know, we're not going to wait till we're dead to engage. So is that fair enough if we engage today? Yes or yes? Yeah. Yes. Awesome. So I believe that there's 3 things we all want, right? Number 1 is freedom. Freedom to be the person we want to be. Freedom to do what we want, when we want, how we want, as much as we want, with whoever we want. How many people want that life? Yes or yes? Yes. Second one, I believe we all want fulfillment. You know, we want to wake up with joy, excitement, passion, energy each day. That's the fulfilling life. And through that we get the third thing, which I call a frickin' awesome life. Okay, so what I love helping people do is create growth in their life. And so for these 3 things, freedom, fulfillment, and a frickin' awesome life, we all receive messages or ideas about how to achieve that. You know, our parents will tell us one thing. Our friends will share with us another thing. You know, our jobs, our mentors, our parents, we're all getting these different messages about how to achieve this. So, you know, the social narrative that we tend to receive in the Western world is that when I receive a good education, then I can get a good job, and then I'll be happy. So I was following that social narrative. I believed in that sincerely. And I got to a point, you know, after I'd done a little bit of travel after high school, I came back and my friends were going to university, my family had all been to university, my brother had gone to university, and these were my mentors at the time. I believed them to be doing really well, so I followed their footsteps, went into university, and I got to that point where I was learning stuff repeatedly. I didn't know what I wanted to do or why I was learning, and so I kind of looked around, I said, where are people living free? Where are people living fulfilled? And where is that frickin' awesome life? So spontaneously, after 9 weeks of university, I'd had it. I thought I could stay till the end, but as soon as I had something better in my mind, I was out of there. Done my pre-exams or whatever those were, and I left. And I went to Australia, and I knew that there were people that were living fulfilled, that were living the life that they really wanted to live, and I wanted to figure out how I could get that, because I didn't see it around me. So I knew I needed to get out of my environment. When I went to Australia, very thankfully, I met some really incredible people. One of them that totally shook my reality was a 19-year-old. He's a good friend of mine, Alex Sumsky. And he's 19 now. At the time I met him, he was in high school. And during high school, he'd built a business while working in high school, while working out of high school, which if someone bought it at the time, it was worth $1 million. And he'd received an offer for that company of $1 million during high school. And in high school, he'd had, his teachers tell him that he's stupid for not handing in his homework. He'd had, teachers call his parents saying they're worried about Alex. And his mum replied, well, you or I can both tell Alex what to do, but based on the life that he's creating for himself, there's not much we can tell him. And so I surrounded myself with young people that were doing really well for themselves. And I started asking the question, what's the difference that makes the difference? Why can some people live a fulfilled life whereas other people are miserable? Why can someone come from a background of, harsh upbringings, no money, low food with their family and live a life that they love and deep, meaningful, whereas, a kid could grow up with all the resources that we think we need, and then go on to do nothing with their life or end up in jail. I started asking these questions, and that led me to studying a lot of the world's most successful people. And for the first time in my life, I fell in love with learning. Until I was about 18, just over 18, I'd read 10 books, and 7 of them were Harry Potter books. And the rest of them were the books you read in English class because you have to. And I created my own university. Every morning I'd wake up at about 6:30, I'd read a book or watch a seminar. In the evenings I'd be going to networking events, and when I wasn't doing that I was going to seminars and workshops, and I just fell in love with learning again, and I felt myself for the first time like really growing. And that's what I want to share about today, because I believe, that's what we all need in our life is growth, okay? I went from being, a university dropout to being on an unemployment benefit twice because I had no desire to get a job, and I was really lazy. I would just play sports, hang out with friends, do what you do when you're 17, 18. Thought it was great to get $140 a week to, becoming someone now who has friends in over 15 different countries. In my life, I've worked with, some CEOs, some business owners. I've worked with husbands and wives, students, young people, and I've authored my own book, my own course, and that's because I learned how to create growth in my life, right? And I don't say that to impress at all. I say that because I committed myself to growth. In a very short period, I've only been learning this stuff for about 16 months, and now I've come to a point where I'm really fulfilled and I can help other people get that too. So there's 2 types of growth. Number one, which we all think that we need, is external growth, to have better quality of relationships, more intimacy, to grow our businesses, to be learning more, to increase our finances, increase our health. That's external growth. And on the other side of that, we have internal growth. That's how we become more confident, more excited, more loving, overcome our fears. That's all internal growth. And I believe if we focus on the internal growth, we can create all that other growth around us, okay? So from that, can you guys see that growth is fundamental to all of our lives? Yes or yes? Yes? If a plant is not growing, it's what? It's dying. It's kind of the same thing for human beings. If we're not growing, we're not feeling fulfilled in our lives. It's not the attainment of a goal that makes us happy. It's the progress towards it. We all feel like if we're in university, when I get that degree, then it's over. But as soon as we get that degree, we celebrate for a day, on to the next thing. We get our job. The moment we got a job, I can do what I need to do. In our job, we're focusing on the next thing. We're focused on promotion, creating life. So it's the progression. If you've ever worked towards a skill like, surfing or a sport or a language, it's not achieving it, it's the progression. When you first stand up on a surfboard, that feeling of knowing you've grown is what makes us feel alive. And that's what I believe we should focus on. It's what I call is constant and never-ending improvement. All right? And so I'm going to share a few things, but growth, as much as we can be excited about it, it has its paradox. Because when we commit ourselves to growth, we run into ourselves. And more importantly, we run into our own BS. And I'm not saying the BS that you think about, it's the belief systems, right? We run into our own beliefs, right? Hand up if you know what a belief system is, or if you think you know what a belief is, right? Some of you, okay? Well, let me share what a belief is, right? In simple terms, a belief is a feeling of certainty about something you feel really, really sure about. And there's 2 types of beliefs, right? Number one, which is the most powerful belief, is a global belief, okay? And a global belief is basically 3 things. People are, I am, and life is. Okay, and I'll share with you an example of how that's incredibly radical, right? So I meet Michelle, right? And if I believe that Michelle is the most caring, loving, amazing woman, how am I going to act around her? Probably. If I believe she's that amazing, am I going to want to spend my time with her? Yes or yes? And then when I'm around her, am I going to be excited to see her? Yes or yes? But if I believe that Michelle is a total bitch, she's always negative, and she's rude, how am I going to behave around her? Am I even going to want to look at her? Of course not. And of course, Michelle is none of that except the first one. But that's how we create beliefs instantly about people. People are, and it's not always one category. It's people that work in construction are a certain way. If you're an accountant, you're a certain way, and that changes how you respond to it. If you go to, a party or you've been invited to a friend's event and you believe the event is going to be fun, lively, exciting, You go in there, you dress up, you're ready, you probably drink a little extra to get on the edge, you want to get ahead. You want to be engaged that night, you're preparing yourself for a long night. You know, you're probably not going to be driving home or coming home anytime soon. But if it's, you know, one of those friends events, you know what it's going to be like, and you know exactly what to expect, you just kind of go and you just, yeah, it is what it is. I've been here before, all right? Can we all relate to that situation? Yes or yes? Yes. I believe so. Second one, life is. So if I believe that life is a challenge, I'm going to go through my life a certain way. You know, the way I anticipate things coming ahead in my life are going to be different. But what if I believe life is a journey, right? Am I going to embrace the challenges? What's another thing we could believe about life? Life is opportunity. He's going to see every opportunity that comes his way because he's going to be looking at the smallest things. What about if life is a gift? How do I feel when I wake up every day? There you go, Christmas time, all right? All right, life is a bitch. Everything's dwelling on me. Life is unfair. And we can choose these beliefs, but most of us, because we're not conscious about them, we don't know the way they are. And the third one is I am. And that's probably the biggest one that you can create, you know? I am awesome. It's going to change how you interact with people. I am worthy to talk to any individual on this earth, right? When you want to meet those mentors, you can go up because you have that belief, that level of certainty in yourself, okay? I want to see if we can do an example, but I don't think we're in the right situation. We'll try, okay? I'm going to give you guys 15 seconds to look for everything around you that is the color brown, okay? Go. Look for brown, look for brown, look for brown. Everything that's brown. Look distant, look close, find the brown. Find the brown, find the brown, find the brown, find the brown, find the brown. Okay, stop. All right, you remember what you saw was brown, okay? Now look around you this time and find everything that is red. Go. Find what's red, find what's red. Only red things. Find what's red. Find what's red, find what's red. Find what's red. You have 5 more seconds, look for red. I can see red down there. Look for red, look for red. All right, stop. Hand up if the second time you saw more red than brown. That's most of you. Why? Because you're looking for it. You find what you're looking for. If you believe a certain thing, you're always going to attract that. That's going to be your gravity, you could say. What you believe, you will find. So if you start opening up your beliefs, you're going to create a very, very different life. And that's what I started doing, okay? So can we agree that the beliefs we have about ourselves, about life, about the way things are, they're a big dictator in our lives? Yeah? Do they have to be? But can we shift our beliefs if we want to? Yes or yes? Of course we can. And that's what I want to share with you, okay? So back to growth, because we're committing to a journey of growth, right? So to grow, I must do a few things. And I'm going to share with you 4 on here, okay? Number 1 is to grow. To create growth in my life, I must overcome my fears, okay? And what is fear? Fear is a belief system, exactly, right? Fear, right? One thing I feared for a long time was interacting with strangers, believe it or not, right? Was that fear true or false? Was it real? No, was I going to inflict any physical harm, like cut myself if I had a conversation with someone? Of course no. So that was a what? We just said it before, a belief. Fear is a belief, okay? I'll share with you something with fear. Daryl, I need to use your example because you're very strong. Right, stand up. Stand up, okay? Oh, no thanks. For this example, Daryl, your fear, okay?
Oh, you want me to tell you one of my fears?
No, you are fear.
Oh, okay.
You are my fear. Daryl is my fear, right? So Daryl, I'm going to ask you to grab me by the arm, and I'm going to ask you just to take me somewhere. You can run me around, right? Keep going. I'm going to resist. All right, that's enough. Who gets tired from that?
Not me.
Who gets tired from that? I was tired, right? I'm trying to resist this, right? I'm trying to resist that, right? But Daryl, I need you one more time. Take me somewhere. Go. I need you to run this time. Go. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. All right. Now who gets tired? That was easy for me. That was easy. Thanks, Daryl. Give him a clap. So with my fear, I can do two things. I can resist, but whatever I resist will persist, right? The option 2 was the easier option for me, so it seems, was to run with it, right? Eventually, he's going to get tired out. He's going to be gone. Then I can move on to my next fear, right? You know, you say as you grow, the size of your problems just gets better. You know, you face better problems, and I'm okay with that, right? First, I might struggle, you know, meeting a certain person, and I get over that fear, and then I've just got a slightly better problem to have, right? So again, thank you, Daryl. Second one, right? I must heighten my awareness, right? Two things create change in your life, right? And is change something we should fear or look forward to? Do you look forward to growth, or are you scared of growth? So to grow, you must create change. Change is something we should not fear. So number 2 is I must heighten my awareness. Two things create change. Number 1 is awareness. Number 2 is a desire, right? You can want change, but if you're not aware of the problem, you can't change it. The moment you become aware of a belief that's limiting you in your life, you can change it because you can stop identifying with it and realizing, you know, I can't do it. I can't take on that belief. You can say, well, that's just BS. At that time, it is bullshit, not a belief system. And you can overcome it. So in terms of awareness, and this has been one of the biggest things in my life, and in terms of the coaching that I do, so much of it is just bringing awareness to different things in someone's life that they have no idea what you're doing. And that's why the coaches that I've had in my life are such a credit for me because, you know, when you're on the field of your own life, you don't see everything that's going on around you. You don't know where everyone is. If it's a game of soccer or something, you only see what you're doing. And there's so much other stuff going on around you. So you must heighten your awareness. And the thing I'm going to share with you there is become extremely aware of what you think each day. And it's simplest. You know, when you're at work, when you wake up in the morning and you have the conscious choice to wake up with a smile on your face and think of a reason to be happy, or just go through the routine, don't remember anything unconsciously or unhappily, you can change that through awareness. Because once you become aware of something, you realize that you have the choice and it's not happening to you. It's totally your choice, right? Number 3, I must surround myself with mentors and better people. And I believe this is the one thing that dictates your life is your peer group, right? Because subconsciously we take on all the habits of our peer group. The person that, you know, starts smoking for life doesn't just one day decide they want to smoke. They generally have someone around them that influences them to just have that cigarette. You know, for my life, I love all my friends to death from high school, and I'll probably go and watch some of the cricket with them today, but I spend very little time with them than compared to what I used to. Just because I knew that where I wanted to go, they were going in a different direction. If I want to go and just relax and hang out and chill, I'll go and see them all, but if I really want to be focused on growth and becoming a greater person, I need to get around people that are going to challenge me. And within that, there's something called the law of 33%. And what the law of 33% states is that we should spend 33% of our time with people on our level, right? People that we can engage with, people that we can currently share with where we're at in our life, what our current challenges are, how things are, and whatnot. Second group is the people that are going to bring you up. Those are mentors. Those are people that have walked the path and you want to follow them, right? So to get around mentors, I just had this conversation with, down here, sorry. And I said to get around mentors because I've had incredible mentors in my life. I've had, you know, young guys exceeding in business. I've had spiritual mentors. I've had health mentors. And I created so much, almost probably well over 50% of everything that I've become today from the people and the conversations that I've had. And so what I suggested was that to get around better people is, number 1, focus on yourself. And I asked this question of Scott Harris, who is Tony Robbins' top coach, if you know him. I said, how do I get around better people? He said, Anthony, number 1 is you want to add value to your own life. So, you know, commit to growth. Become the person that you want to be, right? And you'll start attracting other people. But you have to put yourself into motion, right? So focus on the things that you love, right? Becoming the person that you want to be. Do the things in that area where those kind of people hang around, and then have those conversations with those people, because by the person that you've become, your conversations will change, the way that people see you will change, and then you can start asking better questions and people will want to help you. That's what you'll find, is that people that are doing well, they really want to help the right people. They really, really want to help the right people. And the fourth thing is, following that, I must take action. You've got to put yourself into motion before anything can happen. You know, you can't be guided. You can't realize what's right and what's not wrong if, you know, you're waiting for everything to come into your life. You just got to put yourself out there, take the right action, and everything will come into your life. But to take action, you need certainty, right? No one likes acting when they don't know what's going to happen. So how can we get in a state of certainty? Number one is we can believe that no matter what's going to happen, I'm going to learn from every experience, right? By taking action, I'm going to learn. And learning is going to push me in the right direction for my life, right? By taking action, I'm going to become the person that I'm meant to be, and I'm not going to be limited any longer, okay? Now, with all of these, our excuses will arise, right? You want to go out and meet mentors. You say, I'm going to go along to all these networking events. I'm going to, get out there and talk to people at my university. But then, you start rationalizing. Of course, we all do. I do it all the time. We still rationalize. But there's a way to change that, okay? And I say we must become masters of our meaning. Because when we rationalize, we come up with an excuse. We come up with some sort of excuse. It doesn't matter too much what it is. It comes up all the time when we want to grow. But the thing is, most people give in to their excuses and believe their excuses, so they'll keep playing small. And I want to share with you how to overcome your excuses. Because generally, when you give yourself an excuse, whether it's, to have an extra beer, to eat that chocolate cake or whatever, you just, it's okay, it's not that bad, right? It's not that bad. That's generally the one, it's just this time. It's not that bad. Right? We tend to follow these, but we believe them. So when I say the meaning, right? We focus on a situation, say, chocolate cake or whatever for an example, right? That situation, whatever we focus on has a meaning. Every situation has a meaning. You could choose that coming to this event, the meaning of it is it's going to take up half your afternoon and you might miss the cricket. Is that going to get you excited to come along? Yes. You got a car right across the road? Right? But if the meaning of coming along today is that finally I'm going to get around people that are going to help propel me in life, is that going to help you come along? So if someone's making an excuse, in the morning and saying, oh, gosh, I did say I was going to come along. Oh, okay. Grandma wanted help with the fences 4 weeks ago. Oh, I can't keep her waiting, right? And someone's going to believe that, right? You give into your excuses. But if you change the meaning of what Live Your Legend is, no, it's going to help me grow. No, I need to be at this event because that's going to help me become the person I'm going to be. That's going to help me create the ultimate life for myself. That excuse of I need to go to my grandma's, it goes from being like this, gone. And you don't believe it any longer, right? So, going to the gym, getting healthy, right? As long as the meaning of going to the gym is it takes up an hour of your evening, you don't have time to cook dinner, it's probably not going to work anyway, I haven't lost weight in 10 years. I'm not going to go to the gym. But if you change the meaning of that, no, it's getting me into action. It's going to energize me for my life. It's going to help me grow in all areas, because if I become more energized, how's it going to affect me at work? How's it going to affect me with the people that I interact with? It's going to help you a lot. That's going to push you to act. You can't live by those excuses because you don't believe them anymore. And that's how we overcome excuses. So we become the masters of our meaning. And that's probably one of the core messages I want you to take away. One is that you're going to commit to growth, become aware of your belief systems that are guiding you, and you become the master of the meaning, because your meaning is what causes you to act or not to act. And if we take a certain action repeatedly, we develop that into a habit, we start changing those habits, we create a totally different life, okay? And that's really what sets different successful people apart. They live by a specific set of habits, a very specific set of habits, right? And in this course that, Jan, where are you? Jan's taking, we share this, right? We talk about what are the habits that you're living by, because that's what makes the difference. That is the difference that makes the difference, right? So for you guys, I want you to have a quick think and think to yourself about this is, what is the meaning of growth for you? Why is growth important, okay? So I want you to think about, what changes in your life when you commit to growth or when you start growing. And that can be external growth. That can be, your relationship, your health, your business, your finance, the people that you're around. Or that can be, internal growth. Have a quick think about what changes. What is different in your life? How do you wake up feeling? How do you interact with people? What changes when you commit to growth? Have a think to yourself. I want you to think on the flip side of that. If you remain stagnant, if maybe you're here and you realize that it is time for you to commit to growth, what's going to happen if you don't grow? What's going to happen if you don't commit to growth? Because it's important, there's a difference between pain and suffering. Pain causes us to change. Suffering is a belief around what that pain is. So it's important that we realize what's going to happen if we don't grow, if we don't change. We're not going to be able to take the holidays that we want to go on. We're not going to be able to create the lifestyle that we ultimately want. So get that in your mind, and that's why you commit to growth. That's why you come along to events. That's why you talk to different people at university or at your work, because growth is all around us. We just have to choose to take it on, right? So that's really the message that I want to share with you today. I have authored a book. I've only got 4 copies left in New Zealand. Someone will get one at the end. But if you want one of those, you can grab one. They're just $20. And if any of you feel like, you really want to commit to growth, well, sometime next week, I'm happy to, at some stage, you'll probably have to be on Skype, but set up a time for us to have a 30-minute conversation, and we can have a chat about what's the next steps in your life. So just have a conversation with me afterwards, and let me know. But I appreciate you guys' attention. I appreciate your feedback. It was much more engaging than a lot of other audiences. So thank you guys very much.